again, for those that haven't got the book yet, some beautifully designed images in there. We're going to talk about this one now, which is the 10 traits for the future of work and HR that you cover. So let's talk about that. There are a lot of emerging areas in there that we've talked about a lot on this podcast, such as the speed of change, digital, the impact of digital and AI, dematerialized work, trust and community. Can you share your thoughts on the 10 traits that you have developed and then what they actually mean for the HR professionals listening?
Sure, absolutely, David. So the idea of the traits of the future is about exactly looking 10 years out and shaping this future scenario so that we are able, by this description, to capture a whole lot of signals that would be unable to be just there if we were just looking at the present and projecting this out 10 years. So we're not looking at our 2030 version of 2020, but we're looking at an entirely complex, organic 2030 by weaving in all these changes. The traits are, as such, general traits. However, they are looked at through an HR lens. So, for instance, the first ones, like more faster, that's about the speed and impact of technology. We declense that into how this exert a change on skilling, upskilling, the stages of working life. How does this change the impact of the external environment into organizations processes? Going end to end from recruitment to retirement, and what does retirement mean in an exponential world? The second one is a keystone of what we're doing, the digital's cleaving power. That's coming from philosophy, actually, the work of Floridi on the ethics of information. Cleaving is a very specific, very special word in English, because it means both separating and gluing together. I'm just saying this for our non-native speakers audience. So the cleaving power of the digital technology is exactly taking apart atoms of reality that we thought indivisible and re-gluing them together in a way we weren't foreseeing. For instance, location and presence. So we are together today to have this beautiful conversation, but not exactly together the way together was meant to mean, right? Yeah. So this separating these atoms, like location and presence. So, till the late 19th century, asking where are you was a tautology. Because if I'm able to ask you, you're with me here. So the information and communication technologies enabled an entirely new, as Floridi calls it, re-ontologization. That is the fact that we are giving a new truth to the reality we're experiencing. It's not just the way we're experiencing it, it's the actual reality that is changing. And there's a beautiful and very nice one-liner that's we cut and paste meaning in our reality. Then we will look at community, the fact that due to this, to these changes, to these forces that are shaping the future, the human response is self-organizing to understand and channel these transitions happening at a very high speed. And this, of course, is mediated by another trait that we'll look at, that's trust is an intangible enabler for organization. And that happens, this enabler is crucial because it's the empowerment of individuals and the empowerment of technology. You can't actually onboard or use or lean on a technology if you don't trust that. So what does a trust in case of technology means? What is trust calibration, right? So how do we gauge our reliance to technology? That's essential because we will rely onto technology, and it's impossible imagining not to be in the information age, or even further in the imagination age, without technology. By the way, hinting at something that's happening these days, there has been quite some shelling of the Russian armed forces because they are using, just analog radios. So everyone in the information age is able to listening in their very sensitive communications. That's something that is absolutely impossible to do with NATO modern information age equipment. Back to HR 2030, another trait that we're looking at is centaurs and knights. That comes from the idea of how different generations couple together with technology. So how and moreover also the new and different ways in which, and if you have exponential technology, then you have exponential compression of time, because you have time having exponentially more value than before. So how this compression of time forces different generations to integrate the best of human and machine intelligence. Some of them can simply morph together as a centaur. Some of them can just be like a knight, that he has the power to harness animal might, but as well, you can be on your horse, or you can get off your horse. So it's not a unicum. We go through dematerialized work. That one of the key points we make there is that there are transformational takeaways happening, and we go through the three zation, as we call them: taskization, pulverization, and servitization of work and economy, where pulverization is the unbundling of jobs and profiles and simple and disconnected tasks and skills. So it's one level down with respect to Fordism. Taskization is the rebuilding of different profiles that were unimaginable before, because you were able to just play like Lego bricks with skills and provide completely new different profiles that were impossible to imagine in one single person before.
Yes. And
thus giving rise to new jobs. And servitization is the enabler of all that, is the fact that all the available offer and value-added services are relying on a worldwide hyper-connected platform that enables this feeding of different profiles from everywhere in the world. This also speaks to the paramount part of the technologies that we have, and we have another trait that we have is AI and humans. That's about the capacity of artificial intelligence and machine cognition to scale individuals up, out, and within. One of the things that we tell in the book is the story of Lee Sedol, and that is the world champion in Go, and how AlphaGo, has on the headlines for quite a while, that neural network was able to beat this grandmaster and world champion in Go, a game that was thought to be completely inaccessible and unsolvable by sheer brute force from machine cognition. During one of the series of these challenges, Lee Sedol played a move that is thought to be the absolute summit of an access to an entirely new order of thinking in the game of Go. Now, human would not be able to have access to that if there hadn't been a challenge with the machine. So machines scale us within. Then we go through opportunities, and then enabling laws, of course, because jurisprudence needs to move at the speed of light and not the speed of law in a world that is disrupted by exponential technologies. And then the last I'd like to just make a very specific remark about is new value schemes. The new generation will have a posture towards business that's not just about the usual bottom line, but it's about trust, responsibility, attention, merit, and sustainability. It's not that the new generation just aspires to a better respect for the environment and more transparency in business. That is shallow and worn out to think that of sustainability. So more environment, as I keep hearing in lots of forums, is an overly simplistic way to think sustainability. It's not the environment. New values is all that list. It's trust, responsibility, attention, merit. And the fact that I'm not choosing just who to give my expertise based on my stipend, but on the trust that a brand inspires. It's I'm not working for the law firm who protected those responsible for the opioid crisis in the US. It's I value moral leader that shows off work-life balance rather than a Porsche. Or it's let me see what hashtags this brand has supported before. And these are just examples in the present, because new values in 2030 will require us thinking in a new and entirely different way. So it's understanding new metaphors of meaning in 2030. End of the sermon.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.